Today we're taking a look at these MLB matches: Washington Nationals vs Miami Marlins, Pittsburgh Pirates vs St. Louis Cardinals, New York Yankees vs Detroit Tigers, and Chicago White Sox vs Cleveland Indians, which are happening on Sunday, May 2, 2021, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes. Let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. So I am going to start off by talking about the Washington Nationals vs Miami Marlins match. The Marlins lost Friday's series opener and were beat handily in a 7-2 final on Saturday. Washington can get back to .500 on the season with a win, despite its superstar being out of the lineup with an injury. Miami is starting to hit the skids after hovering around the .500 mark for several weeks. The Marlins have dropped 3 of their last 4 games, including the first 2 games of the series in Washington. They lost 3 out of 4 in a 4-game series at San Francisco last week. Miami was streaky to open the season, winning 4 consecutive games and losing 4 consecutive games within the first 2 weeks. The Marlins are an average offensive team, listed at number 17 in the MLB with a team batting average of .230. They are led by first baseman Jesus Aguilar, who has 25 hits and is batting .296. Washington has started to pick up the pace after getting off to a slow start this season. The Nationals have won their last 3 games, closing out their series in Toronto with an 8-2 win before picking up victories in the first 2 games of this series. They scored 5 runs in the 4th inning of Saturday's game. Washington has been an excellent offensive team, listed at 6th in the MLB with a team batting average of .248. Star left fielder Juan Soto is out until mid-May with a left shoulder strain. Shortstop Trey Turner has a team-high 26 hits and is batting .302. Scherzer's name carries a lot of weight, and for good reason, but that often leads to good value on the other side. I think that theory is even more valid in this particular game, because Rogers is pitching so well, but he is not a household name. Washington's lineup is not the same without Soto in the mix, so Rogers' hot start should continue. My first betting advice for that game is to pick Miami. Miami is 2-5 in their last 7 games as a road underdog, while the over is 6-2 in their last 10 games as a road underdog. Washington is 1-4 in their last 5 games against a left-handed starter and 5-2 in their last 7 home games, while the under is 5-0 in their last 5 games as a home favorite. The over is 7-3 in the last 10 meetings between these 2 teams. Trey Turner leads the Nationals with a .308 batting average, 6 home runs, over .351 OBP and 28 hits, while Starlin Castro has a team-high 13 RBIs this season with 5 doubles to lead the Nationals as well. My second betting advice for that game is to pick over. Now I'm going to be talking about the Pittsburgh Pirates vs St. Louis Cardinals match. The Cardinals entered Saturday leading the Pirates by 1.5 games for second place in the division. Pittsburgh was looking to bounce back after losing on Friday, but this story was published prior to Saturday's game. St. Louis has been hovering around the .500 mark throughout the early stages of the 2021 season. The Cardinals swept Cincinnati last weekend, and then split a 4-game set with Philadelphia earlier this week. They took Friday's series opener in Pittsburgh by a final score of 7-3. Matt Carpenter hit his second pinch hit, 3-run homer in 2 days in the win. It extended the St. Louis lead from 3-1 to 6-1. The Cardinals have needed that kind of production off the bench, as their team ranks number 23 in the MLB with a batting average of .224. St. Louis had their offense working in the Friday victory, and they scored well in an eventual 7-3 result to kick off the series. On Saturday, the Cardinals bagged 15 hits in a rousing 12-5 win. Starter Jack Flaherty went 6.0 innings with 6 hits and 3 earned. Pittsburgh entered the season with one of the lowest Vegas win totals of all time, so it was not surprising when the Pirates got off to a 1-6 start. Their play since then has been a surprise, though. They won 4 of their following 5 games after the rough opening stretch and have been able to hover around .500 since then. Pittsburgh put together a 3-game winning streak earlier this week before dropping consecutive games heading into Saturday's tilt. The Pirates are number 19 in the MLB offensively, hitting at a .227 clip as a team. The Pirates are facing one of the worst starters in the MLB on Sunday afternoon. Regardless of who Pittsburgh chooses to send out to counter Martinez, there should not be much of an edge for the Cardinals in the pitching department. St. Louis does not have an edge with its offensive lineup either, particularly with Molina sidelined. My first betting advice for that game is to pick Pittsburgh. On the Pirates side, they couldn't get much going at the plate on Friday, posting just 3 runs on 4 hits. In the Saturday game, Pittsburgh did okay on offense but couldn't stop the Cardinals from scoring. The Pirates' Colin Moran had 3 hits with 2 RBI and a run. For Sunday's starter role, the Pirates are sending out Will Crowe. So far this year in 2 games, 1 start, Crowe has 4.2 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks and 5 strikeouts. He held a 0.77 ERA in 11.2 innings over 5 games this spring as well. The Pirates are 5-0 in their last 5 in Game 3 of a series and 25-61 in their last 86 versus a team with a winning record. The under is 10-3-2 in Pittsburgh's last 15 Sunday games, and the over is 6-1 in their last 8 at home. My second betting advice for that game is to pick under. Now I'm going to be talking about the New York Yankees versus Detroit Tigers match. New York took the first 2 games of the series, including a 6-4 victory on Saturday afternoon, to cash in as a massive -225 favorite. Detroit has lost 4 straight to fall to 8-20, the worst record in the majors, while the Yankees are starting to stabilize after a rough start at 13-14. His teams last had a season series in 2019, with each team winning 3 games apiece. New York holds a narrow 14-12 lead dating back to 2019. Since sweeping the Astros 2 weeks ago, the Tigers have gone on a 2-14 slide, including scoring a total of 1 run in their prior 3 games heading into Saturday. The offense got going some with Jaimar Candelario hitting a solo shot to tie the score at 1 in the 4th inning before Jonathan Schoop added a 2-run single in the 7th and Nico Goodrum launched a long ball an inning later, but it wasn't enough as the pitching couldn't hold up. A visit from the Tigers has proven to be a good way to get the New York offense going, as the Yankees rolled to a 10-0 win in Friday's series opener before another solid showing in the next games. It was a rough start for New York as its only scoring in the first 4 innings came on an RBI single by Gleyber Torres, but the Yankees broke through in a 4-run 6th on a pair of 2 RBI singles from Torres and Aaron Judge. Meanwhile, the Yankees have won 3 of 4 in 6 of their previous 9 entering Saturday and saw some of the power game come back with their win Friday night. Urena is coming off his first win in more than 2 years, but the fact remains that the Tigers simply aren't good enough to put together consistent outings, regardless of who is on the mound. Kluber turned in a solid outing his last time out, and with a weak Detroit lineup, should have another good showing here. My first betting advice for that game is to pick New York Yankees. Detroit is 28-57 in their last 85 games against a team with a losing record, and 14-38 in their last 52 games overall, while the under is 7-1 in their last 10 games as an underdog. New York is 17-5 in their last 22 games against the AL Central and 82-36 in their last 118 home games, while the under is 19-7 in their last 26 games as a favorite. Aaron Judge leads the Yankees with a .291 batting average, a .396 OBP, 7 home runs and 18 RBI, while DJ LeMahieu has 28 hits with a team-high 5 doubles, sharing the lead in doubles with Gleyber Torres. Jaimar Candelario leads the Tigers with a .279 batting average and 29 hits with 5 doubles, while Robbie Grossman leads the Tigers with a .360 batting average and 20 walks as well this season. The Tigers will always have an extreme amount of plus money with them, and the Yankees are the Yankees, But the fact of the matter is that Kluber's not the ace-type pitcher he once was, and I've seen Jose Urena get tossed around more often than not in his career. My second betting advice for that game is to pick over 8.5. Now I'm going to be talking about the Chicago White Sox versus Cleveland Indians match. This will be the rubber game, as Chicago evened the series at a game apiece with a 7-3 victory on Saturday afternoon to cash in as a big -171 favorite. Chicago has played well of late to improve to 15-11 on the season, while Cleveland is back below .500 at 12-13. This is the second series of the season between these two after they split a 4-game set in Chicago back in mid-April. Cleveland dominated head-to-head last season, winning 8 of the 10 matchups. Cleveland's inconsistent start has been mostly a result of a poor offense, but the starting pitching also struggled in Saturday's loss to the White Sox as Triston McKenzie only lasted 2 innings. The Indians were down 5-0 by the time they got on the board on a 2-run single by Yu Chang in the fourth before Austin Hedges added a solo shot an inning later. And despite Chicago going scoreless over the final 5 innings, it wasn't enough to make up for the early deficit. McKenzie took the loss, allowing 5 earned runs on just 1 hit and 4 walks while striking out 6. Chang walked twice in addition to his single, while Josh Naylor had the only multi-hit game for the Indians. After a rocky start, the White Sox are starting to play like the postseason contender that most projected, and turned in a solid all-round effort on Saturday to even the current series against Cleveland at a game apiece. After Leury Garcia opened the scoring by drawing a bases-loaded walk in the second, Tim Anderson provided the big blow by slugging a grand slam, which would be enough to back another strong outing from the pitching staff. Lance Lynn picked up the win by allowing 3 earned runs on 4 hits and 2 walks in 5 innings, while Michael Kopech and Aaron Bummer combined to allow just 1 hit over 4 innings with 5 strikeouts out of the bullpen. Garcia went 1-3 with a double and 3 RBI out of the number 9 spot in the lineup for the White Sox, while Yasmani Grandal walked 4 times and scored twice. My first betting advice for that game is to pick White Sox. Cleveland is 4-1 in their last 5 games overall and 16-37 in their last 53 games as a road underdog, while the over is 4-0-1 in their last 5 division games. Chicago is 24-9 in their last 33 home games and 40-18 in their last 58 games as a favorite, while the over is 4-1 in their last 5 Game 3 matchups. Cleveland is 9-3 in the last 12 meetings between these two teams. Yerman Mercedes leads the White Sox with team-high marks of .395 in batting average with 5 home runs, 34 hits and a .435 OBP, while Jose Abreu also has 5 home runs with 19 RBIs this season. Neither Plesac nor Giolito have been anything to write home about this season, as both have ERAs just under 6 and Giolito's allowed 11 earned runs in just last 7.2 innings alone. My second betting advice for that game is to pick over 7.5. That's it for this video. Good luck to all of you.